10 Most Corrupt Countries in Africa 2022. Africa is a very wealthy and blessed continent. However, her people continue to live in abject poverty. Corruption is the primary cause of poverty in Africa. Corruption is a type of dishonesty, or a criminal offense committed by a person or organization in a position of authority in order to obtain illicit benefits or abuse power for personal gain. Corruption can involve a variety of activities, such as bribery, influence peddling, and embezzlement, as well as practices that are legal in many countries. Have you ever wondered which country is the most corrupt in Africa? Stay with us till the end to find out for yourself. By the way, let us know which country we missed out on our list. The Corruption Perception Index, CPI, assesses the level of corruption in a country's public sector. It has a value ranging from 0 to 100. A score of 100 indicates the least corruption, while a score of 0 indicates the most corruption. 10. Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau ranks last among Africa's 10 most corrupt countries. According to Transparency International, the country's CPI is 21. Many social vices afflict this West African country as a result of government mismanagement. This has resulted in national instability on the verge of collapse. The majority of its citizens live in abject poverty, with many of their fundamental human rights being violated on a daily basis. In Guinea-Bissau, law enforcement is so weak that it is almost non-existent. Meanwhile, the majority of the country's leaders are not held accountable, allowing them to engage in drug and weapon trafficking. 9. Chad. With a CPI of 20, Chad ranks 9th among Africa's most corrupt countries. Bribery, nepotism, favoritism, and tribalism, among other vices, abound in this Central African country. Electoral fraud in all of its forms is also a feature of the country's political structure. The executive arm of the country's government tightly controls the judicial arm. As a result, the country's leaders can rule as they please with no consequences. Corruption is also rampant in government institutions at all levels. 8. Comoros. The Comoros are a volcanic archipelago off the east coast of Africa, in the warm Indian Ocean waters of the Mozambique Channel. Comoros is ranked 8th among Africa's most corrupt countries. According to Transparency International, its CPI is also 20. Further investigation reveals that Comoros' CPI continues to fall year after year, implying that corruption is on the rise. The reasons for this are not implausible. Ineffective law enforcement, low living costs, and poor governance are just a few examples. Low per capita income leads to low living costs, which afflicts the country. 7. Sudan. Sudan is the next most corrupt African country on the list. This country, which is in North Africa, has a CPI of 20. Sudan suffers from a lack of accountability among its leaders, a disregard for the rule of law, and general political insecurity. Citizens' fundamental rights are not protected. Corruption pervades the country's sectors, including abuse of power, bribery, and nepotism, among many others. Almost every governmental and institutional position involves large-scale fraud and embezzlement of public funds. 6. Burundi. Burundi is a landlocked country located in the Great Rift Valley, where the African Great Lakes region and East Africa meet. Burundi is ranked 6th among Africa's most corrupt countries. It is located in East Africa and has a CPI of 19. Burundi has seen its fair share of political strife, intertribal conflict, ethnic wars, and other calamities. All these have made Burundi one of the world's poorest and least developed countries. Defective law enforcement, insurgency, instability, and ethnicism are a few of the vices that plague Burundi. It also doesn't help that majority of Burundi's leaders practice authoritarianism. 5. The Democratic Republic of the Congo. This Central African country is ranked 5th among Africa's most corrupt countries. According to Transparency International, it has a CPI of 19. The majority of the country's leaders are only interested in plundering its natural resources and wealth for the benefit of themselves and their families. Corruption pervades every institution in the DRC. Electoral fraud, embezzlement of public funds, exploitation, and abuse of power, among other things, have brought the country to its knees. 4. Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea, a country in Central Africa, comes next. With a CPI of 17, this is one of Africa's most corrupt countries. We can correctly conclude that the leaders of Equatorial Guinea are not concerned with the welfare of their citizens. Corruption is so pervasive in this country that it could be considered a criminal state. A country has abundant natural resources, but its citizens live in some of the most deplorable conditions on the planet. All because a small group of powerful people controls the wealth. 3. Libya. This North African country ranks 3rd among Africa's most corrupt countries. According to the analysis, its CPI is 17. The country is beset by political unrest and instability on the verge of collapse. Some metrics already classify Libya as a failed state. Bribery, ineffective law enforcement, embezzlement of public funds, civil wars, and violations of human rights are the order of the day in Libya. Libya has a wealth of natural resources that are in high demand. But its leaders loot all the country's wealth with impunity, and nobody to keep their actions in check. However, its leaders loot all of the country's wealth with impunity, with no one to hold them accountable. 2. Somalia. Somalia, officially the Federal Republic of Somalia, is a country in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia to the west, Djibouti to the northwest, the Gulf of Aden to the north, the Indian Ocean to the east, and Kenya to the southwest border the country. Somalia is ranked 2nd among Africa's most corrupt countries. The CPI in this East African country is 13. Somalia has near astronomical levels of corruption. There is no accountability in the expenditure of public funds by government leaders. Along with famine, drought, and other natural disasters, insecurity is a major concern. All of these factors combine to make Somalia one of the most inhospitable countries in Africa and the world. 1. South Sudan. With a CPI of 11, South Sudan is the most corrupt country in Africa. It is also the most corrupt country in the world, with the lowest recorded CPI. It is also one of the most dangerous countries to live in, as well as one of the worst countries in the world, among other things. Leaders foster an environment in which public funds can be looted, embezzled, and money laundered with impunity. Zero accountability results from a failed judiciary and ineffective law enforcement. Despite its abundant natural resources, citizens live in abject poverty because the wealth is controlled by corrupt elite. Corruption is toxic to any society. It undermines democratic governance and casts a negative light on any country where it is prevalent. Even though it eats deep into the fabric of any society, it can be eradicated. This would necessitate citizen cooperation and responsibility, as well as accountability on the part of leaders. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to Africa Reloaded for more great content.